Hey everybody, thank you for watching my videos. Today I wanted to talk about when and where to sell your precious metals. Or do you even want to sell them? When you start buying precious metals, you need to have an idea or a plan of what you're going to do with them. Maybe you're buying them with the plans to flip them and make some quick money. Maybe you're holding on to them for retirement, or maybe you're holding on to them in case you encounter a financial issue. Maybe you plan just to pass them to your family. Whatever the case, you need to have a plan. As I've explained in my previous videos, mine is that I'm going to hold on to these and maybe sell them around my retirement age to help pay for things. I see it as a type of retirement, not solely my retirement. But if I encounter financial issues, unforeseen expenses, not something like, hey, I want to put new wheels on my vehicle, or, hey, I'd like to take a trip, nothing like that, maybe I'll sell them, under a, if I'm having financial issues in the future. That's kind of my thoughts on it. And I'll tell you kind of my experience about where I was going to sell them, my plan. There's a place near me. There's only a couple local shops and pawn shops and stuff around me. I was going to sell it to one shop, and I had previously asked them, I can't remember if it was on the phone or in person, what they sell or what they buy silver and gold for. And they said spot. I thought that's great, and then later I thought, I want to double check. And so I called them over the phone, and the person said, we pay 80% of spot. And I was like, oh, okay, and I thought, maybe that person had different information, or something. And so later, two more phone calls at two different times, I asked them, and I got the same answers of 80 to 90% of spot, depending on what it is. American Silver Eagles, they would pay closer to the 90% of spot. And I believe I was talking to a manager on like the fourth call, and they said, sorry that, you were told, spot price, because we never pay spot price for things. And, I'm going to double check with them, again in person, and just to see what, people say. But I've kind of decided that maybe I don't want to sell it to them. Maybe I want to sell it to an individual person, which is also an option. And then I can get it, I can sell it for spot price in that scenario. I checked with the other local shops, and one of them also said that they pay spot for it, and they said that they have the best deal in town. So they know that the other places in town doesn't sell it for, or doesn't buy it for spot. So maybe I'll kind of keep an eye on that place. The other options, you can sell it to a website. I haven't done that, and I'm not sure actually what any of the websites sell it or buy it for. Talking about like APMEX and JM Bullion, SD Bullion, all them. I'm not sure. I've never looked into it. Sorry. So those are some things that you want to keep in mind. If you are going to sell it. And something to keep in mind before you sell it, as you're purchasing, precious metals, is you want to make sure that you're not buying fakes. I've bought a lot of mine online, a couple times from individual people, and then a couple times from local shops. The same shop that had that I'd ask about the, spot price, 80% and all that stuff. I'd ask them, do you test your metals? And they said that gold they always test. With silver, they've been in the business long enough that they know by looking at it whether it's fake or not. And if it looks suspicious to them, then they test it. Maybe that's how stores, all over, or shops, do it. I don't know. Again, that's something I need to look into, and I'm telling you all this so that you have an idea of what you should do, or what you need to look into. Because them giving me that answer, that wasn't as confident as I was hoping. So, I mean, I do what I can, at my house to kind of, test, and everything. And I believe everything that I have is real, but you definitely don't want to encounter it. It can be quite devastating to go and sell it, and then turns out that, a little bit or half of or all the stuff you bought is fake. That can be very scary, especially, if you're depending on that money for something, which again goes into your plan of, when and why are you selling it. Something that you can also do, and this is just kind of a tip that I've seen on other videos and thought I'd include in there. Silver takes up a lot of room. As you can see in front of you, I have just one piece of gold and the rest in silver. Silver takes up more room to equal the same amount as gold. So something that you can do over time is, after you've built up so many rounds or bars or whatever, you can then take them into different shops and trade them out, for whatever the ratio is at the time. Trade them out for gold, so that it takes up less storage space, and it just depends on what you want to do. Just kind of a tip that I wanted to throw into this video. So there's lots of options out there, but you definitely want to at least have an idea of what you're going to do with your precious metals. Are you going to keep it, pass it on to to your family? Are you going to sell it to cover something? Or are you just holding on to it for a long time for retirement? Any of those. So comment below. Let me know what your thoughts are. What your kind of strategy is. Are you going to eventually trade it in for your silver and for gold? Or are you going to sell it to a pawn shop? Are you going to sell it to a local coin shop? Do you plan to sell it to individual people? Or do you have any experience at selling it to a website? Or any of those scenarios. What's your advice that you would give to other people? Feel free to comment below. And again, as always, I thank you guys for watching my videos.